40 Racewear, makers of the ultimate sim racing shoes and custom apparel designed for sim racing by sim racers. 40 racing shoes are engineered to connect racers to the pedals in a way no other racing shoe can, all the while giving you the comfort needed to complete those double and triple stints. Visit 40racewear.com and check out the latest sim racing products that let you connect to your sim.
A blind knight that uses echolocation, viewing the dark, treacherous world through sound. Trapped in a dungeon keep, endangered by combatants, where hazards lurk around every corner. Make sound to have vision, or don't and be stealthy. Avoid impaling threats throughout the dungeon to escape. Engage with other prisoners.
Rogue Knight I've been hearing about. Could you find the key and unlock my cell?
Free them to fight back with more allies.
Let's take this guy.
The dungeon labyrinth has many paths and even more traps. Struggle through the darkness to find your freedom.
Presentation.
Welcome one and all to Turn 200's coverage of the GoSquadra Formula Super Series here this evening. For the very first time on Turn 200, we are live from the Hungaroring. It is the Flash Photos Hungarian Grand Prix. It is a 2.7-mile circuit used for the Hungarian Grand Prix of Formula 1. Great facility. Happy to be here for the very first time on the channel. 14 turns in this anvil-looking track, and we'll see if the anvil is feeling evil here tonight for the 23 drivers that are about to get after it for the GoSquadra Formula Super Series. Hello, everybody. It's Tommy Cook. I am, at least for now, flying solo here this evening, but happy to be back after a week off. Last week, thanks to Matt Williamson and Jeff Mathis for taking over the duties last week. What was a very interesting race, to say the least, at Imola, round number 6 of the season. Very contentious for a lot of the front runners, but somehow, someway, after having to pit on the first lap of the race, Joao de Gregorio managed to come away with a podium. He extends his points lead over Thiago Spencer, who just had a wretched week last week. Tanner DeFabis did not fare much better. Titus Sherlock able to come away with his 6th career feature victory in the GoSquadra Formula Super Series after sweeping the week. So he made up some points on Joao de Gregorio. Kostic did not have a very good week. I don't believe he is in the lineup here tonight, so that might be him throwing in the towel after a frustrating conclusion to his race last week. Cody Claiborne still leading the AM standings. That is always up for grabs. Nick Goyette managed to be the 40 Racewear top AM last week at Imola, so he made up a little bit of ground on Claiborne, who won the sprint race in the 4D Racewear AM division. That was at Imola last week. So that's sort of the lay of the land coming into tonight, a track that I would imagine every driver on the track has seen a race at, but have they raced the Hungaroring? I have not. I would imagine it's probably about a 50-50 split, honestly, between the drivers who have and the drivers who have not here this evening. So we'll see how these drivers fare on feeling out this facility. As we'll look for some activity on track here, we only see really a couple of drivers currently out on the circuit with 2 minutes left to go in qualifying. If you're hanging out with us here tonight, let us know in the chat. It might be a very lonely night for me up here in the booth, so any company that anybody can keep me will be much appreciated until we could get some drivers up here at the end of a sprint and a feature. Right in here with Cody Claiborne. Claiborne's qualifying run is over, but he's just getting a few extra laps here. 16th on the board right now, Titus Sherlock on provisional pole, as I don't think there is anybody that can snag it from him. There's nobody out on track currently on a hot lap, so an extra $10 coming Titus Sherlock's way, courtesy of Jeff Mathis. That lap time, 1:24.22 for Titus Sherlock. That's a pretty decent lap from what I can gather. Very, very weird circuit. It's almost like the first turn and the last turn sort of make it seem like it's going to be a right-hand oval. It's more like a Martinsville, but then it turns into this very odd, undulating, very tight circuit. Makes for some very interesting racing, very treacherous off-tracks here as well. As Cody Claiborne has made his way back to the pits, we currently have not a single driver out on the circuit here. For the next 30 seconds, we've got Jeff hanging out in the chat with us. Very tricky track, yes indeed. And it is FIA Grade 1, so that makes it somewhat wide, but the places that you want to be, to Jeff's point, very much, it's going to narrow up very quickly. After last week, there are some drivers that are going to be hoping for a lot of space out there. There's not going to be much to find, I'm afraid. These are the track conditions with 5 seconds left to go. Track conditions will change, but 102 degrees Fahrenheit, pretty generous for now. But we'll see if that is going to change as these drivers are about ready to take the grid for tonight's sprint race. It'll be locked and loaded here from the Hungaroring, and it'll be led to green by Titus Sherlock. Not a surprise to see him on the pole position. Thiago Spencer needs a big bounce back after last week. He will line up in the second position. Schwader Gregorio, Michael Costello, that's a powerful duo on row number 2. Felipe Silva and Sam McDougall, quite the row 3 here. Jeff Groff, Byron Daly, row 4. Christian Jasper, and Nate Siefker. Round out your top 10 starters. Tanner DeFavis back there in the 11th position with Matt Schlosser to his outside. Zachary Smith, your top AM on the grid in P13. 14th place starting spot for his competitor in the division, Nick Goyette. Brian Labarge, Cody Claiborne, Jeremy Carter, Dakota DeMate, Sarah Guerra, and Kyle Allen, your top 20 on the grid. Zach Flaum, Kevin Bonomi, and Peter Donchak, the rest of your starting lineup. Looks like the track is bathed in maybe a little bit more sunlight than what we just saw, but the time of day has moved back a bit, so the track temperature is down to 96 degrees Fahrenheit. Even better, being able to drop the track temp down by about 5 degrees or so. Waiting on a few holdouts here to get on to the starting grid. Thiago Spencer and Schwader Gregorio among them. Byron Daly, Christian Jasper, Zachary Smith, Dakota DeMay, Kyle Allen all have yet to appear on the grid as well. It'll be all eyes on the front of the field. Titus Sherlock has had 2 sweeps this season. He would love to have a third. Won the sprint and the feature last week. Did it in round 2 of this season as well. He has got the most feature victories of anybody in the GoSquadra Formula Super Series. 20 seconds left to grid. Could very well, after a wild week last week, have a pit lane start for Schwader Gregorio, as he is still not on the starting grid as of yet. And a few other drivers who definitely had some contact last week, not on the starting grid either. Byron Daly has just popped in his P8 starting position and we are gridding, ready to go. Jasper Smith and Di Gregorio starting from the pit lane. But it'll be Titus Sherlock and Thiago Spencer on the dash down the hill to turn number 1. We're underway at the Hungaroring. Lots of drafting opportunity. It can all go right here, and a tight right-hander as they start to stack up. Pretty clean for the most part through the first couple of turns. Jeremy Carter is off the track further back. We'll stay up front here for the 15-minute sprint. Thiago Spencer leading Titus Sherlock through turns 3, 4, 5. And another opportunity here for Sherlock to try and get this lead back. But not happening. Some lunges, some weaving. Everybody just trying to make sure that they are taking care of their stuff here in the opening few turns. Problems for Zach Flaum. He is off the circuit. Michael Costello here riding in third. We'll go on board with him as he's got a good view of Titus Sherlock trying to close in on Thiago Spencer for the lead. Costello was in a good spot last week battling with Kostik Sawovia, but unfortunately some contact took Costello out of the race. So he'll look to mimic the pace that he had last week. He is hanging right here in the top 3 positions. We just had a big off further back, I do believe. We'll take a look at it here in a moment to see if Titus Sherlock is going to have a go in turn number 1. He's got his wing there to the inside of Thiago Spencer, but not quite able to make it stick. Spencer taking a little bit wider line there through the first turn is able to hang on. Not actually sure we did have any off track. I think a lot of people using the runoff out of the final turn. And that seems to be tripping up our race control software just a little bit. Problems for Peter Donchak. He has spun. We'll go in search of a few incidents that did occur here momentarily. But first to see, we'll watch the hands here of Titus Sherlock riding kickpot cam style right in the wake of Thiago Spencer, who needs the sprint victory. If he's ever needed one before, it's this one. Sherlock needs it too. Two drivers backed into a corner. They've certainly got themselves off to a very nice start here in the 15-minute sprint. 3 minutes off the board, coming to complete lap number 2 this time. We'll see if Sherlock is able to mount an offense here down the straightaway into turn number 1. Then we'll start to get on the replay train. Does look like Spencer's going to be able to maintain his advantage into the first turn. Sherlock closes up to about a car length or so, but nothing going. Here is a look at Jeremy Carter. This is turn 1, lap 1. Off there on the rumble strips, that was not really anything. Okay, we'll go to Zach Flaum now. And off the track, but onto the last little bit of runoff there, a little bit into the dirt. That was not anything crazy. So we're back to the live action now. And just as I say that, we'll go back to the replay train. Sarah Guerra, which has just had an incident. Guerra off the track. A little tight there, but nothing too crazy. Let's get an update here on Joao Di Gregorio as he is making a pass on Brian Labarge. That is to move up to 14th. Remember, Di Gregorio had to start from the pits after last week at Imola, so he has fought his way through the field already up to the 14th position, and he will certainly be looking to make it into the invert. Again, we invert the top 10 finishers from the sprint into the feature, and no doubt Di Gregorio will have the pace to exceed that. But 10th is a good place to start, and he's not too far away from that. Advantage is about 0.7 of a second for Thiago Spencer back to Titus Sherlock. Top AM driver at the moment. I believe. And actually, some problems up the road. That is Nate Siefker. He will fall out of the top 10 and rejoin the circuit in 12th with Joao de Gregorio right behind him. Joao will take a dive to the inside here. Very tight quarters there. Siefker able to fend him off. Just up the road, that is Cody Claiborne in the 10th position right now. He is your top AM as they run here with inside of 10 minutes left to go. But he has got Nick Goyette hounding him for those honors. Goyette and Claiborne giving it everything they've got here. We'll go up and take a look at what happened to Nate Siefker here as he's battling at 4th position. And just sent it a little bit deeper into the braking zone, into the back of the car in front of him. We'll come back out to the live action here. And problems now for Byron Daly. Daly has gone for a spin. Kyle Allen also is around. And Daly coming down pit road. Joao de Gregorio in the thick of it here with Siefker, Claiborne, Goyette. They're all mixed up together, 10th through 13th. Watching the relatives at the front of the field, Thiago Spencer is being reeled in by Titus Sherlock. We'll jump back up there in a moment. The top 10 in the sprint pace points. Joao needs points to maintain this advantage at least as much as possible. As it runs right now, he's going to lose a few. But he needs to get into this invert. He needs to get past Siefker and Claiborne to do it. No reason to panic yet. Up the road, here is a battle. Kevin Bonomi, Matt Schlosser. And Bonomi will take away the 8th position, relegate Schlosser back to 9th. We mentioned that Titus Sherlock was closing in on Thiago Spencer. There is the gap, about 0.6 of a second. It was flirting with a second there for a moment, but Sherlock has been able to pull him back in. 7:30 left to go. Little by little, this gap continues to come down. Purple lap set last time around. It was Felipe Silva in P4, ran a 126 flat. Weaving down the straights. Spencer knows he could feel the pressure being applied here. Costello is not too far behind. Should it go awry for your top 2 here? Joao de Gregorio's had a problem. He's dropped down to 15th. We'll follow up on that in a moment. But Titus Sherlock is not letting up. A couple of long looping corners. We'll be back onto the front straightaway here. Much tidier there to the rumble strips for Titus Sherlock. Thiago Spencer taking a little bit longer of a line. It got him a better run out of the turn, but Sherlock still with the slipstream here into turn number 1. Not quite going to be close enough to pull the trigger here. Quickly, let's take a look at what happened to Joao de Gregorio. Again, he was riding just outside of the top 10 over the rumble strips there. I think something had already happened to him by that point because he's already lost some positions. There we go. That is a big off track. Maybe, in fact, a slowdown to have to serve. By the way, that cost him 3 positions. Back to the battle for the lead. Spencer feeling it. Sherlock applying it. And Joao de Gregorio is down pit road. Disastrous sprint for your points leader. The Season 1 champion is in trouble. Early in the going here in the Hungaroring. He'll have a lot of work to do coming up in the feature. Riding on board with your reigning series champion, Titus Sherlock. 5 minutes left to go. He's got his teammate Michael Costello 1 second behind. He has been able to open up that gap just a bit, but 1 second not exactly comfortable, especially to a driver that is as fast and as aggressive as Costello. But surely Titus's eyes are forward right now on the challenge ahead. Thiago Spencer. Again, a look, and he's really going to send it here down low into the right-hander, turn one, and Titus Sherlock with authority is going to take the lead over, but Sherlock is not done yet. Spencer looking, but Titus Sherlock has got him covered off. Now Spencer will need to stay close here around the remaining sections of this course till he could get back to turn number one, the prime passing opportunity on the circuit here at the Hungaroring. What a move for Titus Sherlock. He'll be looking to drive away if he can, but that is the big lingering question here. Michael Costello has been able to close in. Felipe Silva a second and a half behind as well. 3 cars in it to win it, and plenty others close enough to take advantage if these 3 decide that they are not in it to win it. You could see Thiago Spencer lighting up the rear tires there on the power, trying to get back to the button as quickly as possible here. He is 3/4 of a second behind. And again, in the slipstream, even with the pass for the lead, that is the purple lap of the race. Titus Sherlock just ran a 1:25.50. As Spencer and Costello get together, and Costello's going to pay the price. He goes around. Similar move there to what was made by Titus Sherlock, but Spencer had the door shut just a little bit more. Let's take a look at this move for the lead. Sherlock diving to the inside here. Spencer leaves the room. That's the line that he had been running, but Sherlock just able to keep it so neat there to that right side rumble strip. And on the flip side of it, very similar looking move, I would imagine, here from Costello. He's a little bit further back than Titus was. Still decides to go for it anyway. And Spencer is moving there with the corner. A little bit of maybe netcode contact up to Felipe Silva. Hopefully that doesn't affect the handling of the car too much. As now Costello slowing down, letting Sam McDougall Tanner to Fabus through. Costello with problems on this machine. Jeff Groff is through as well. 2.5 seconds for Titus Sherlock. Back now to Thiago Spencer, as Jorge Gregorio is in the chat with us. Yeah, that's unfortunate to say the least. Should have 2 laps left to go for Titus Sherlock to wrap up what would be a second sprint victory in a row. Thiago Spencer not making many inroads here up to the race leader. We'll jump back quickly to Sam McDougall and Tanner DeFabis having quite the scrap here for the 4th position. As, wow, Dakota DeMade has junked that machine. Holy cow. Not only is it DeFabis and McDougall battling for the 4th position, but Jeff Groff is in the mix here as well, just for good measure. Top Am honors still belong to Cody Claiborne in the 11th position. White flag is waving. Titus Sherlock under no threat here. Zachary Smith just dropped a couple of positions, battling now with Brian Labarge to try and regain 16th. And he might have it. Michael Costello battling with Cody Claiborne now for position. Claiborne in a decent spot here. He's got 5 seconds back to Nick Goyette. Remember, he's the AM points leader at the moment. Looking to extend this advantage here in round 7 of 10 of the season. Titus Sherlock has had to be on the comeback trail after early season woes have set him deep in the hole. But the comeback is starting to materialize here. He is looking for his 6th career sprint victory here in the GoSquadra Formula Super Series to match his 6 feature victories. Third turn, number 14, checkers are out, and Titus Sherlock is going to dash across the start-finish line to pick up his 3rd sprint victory of the season. Thiago Spencer will bring it home in 2nd. Felipe Silva will round out the sprint podium. Tanner DeFabis will finish in 4th. It'll be 5th for Sam McDougall, 6th for Jeff Gruff. Kevin Bonomi in 7th. Nate Siefker recovering after the spin early to get back into the top 10. Mark him down for 8th. Matt Schlosser in 9th. And Michael Costello, I believe, is going to hang on for 10th. And your 40 Raceware top AM of the sprint is Cody Claiborne, first driver on the outside of the invert looking in. What a race and what a move. Titus Sherlock takes his 3rd sprint victory of the season. We'll talk to him here momentarily on the other side of your mid-roll break. This is the Flash Photos Hungarian Grand Prix for the GoSquadra from the Super Series on Turn 200.
40 Racewear, makers of the ultimate sim racing shoes and custom apparel designed for sim racing by sim racers. 40 racing shoes are engineered to connect racers to the pedals in a way no other racing shoe can, all the while giving you the comfort needed to complete those double and triple stints. Visit 40racewear.com and check out the latest sim racing products that let you connect to your sim.
Turn 200's coverage of the GoSquadra Formula Super Series is presented by 4D Racewear, makers of the ultimate sim racing shoes and custom apparel, designed for sim racing by sim racers. Visit 4dracewear.com and check out the original racing gloves for your feet. And by GoSquadra. GoSquadra's mission is to enhance race team management across all sim racing platforms. Coming soon to GoSquadra.com. Back to the live coverage here on Turn 200, the GoSquadra Formula Super Series Flash Photos Grand Prix of Hungary. We just had Titus Sherlock here, and he has skipped out. Hopefully we can get him back here in just a moment. But in the meantime, what a race that we just saw. I would imagine Thiago Spencer will be looking for some redemption here, but man, that was a great move that Titus Sherlock just made into turn number 1 to take the lead and ultimately take the victory by commanding 3+ seconds over Thiago Spencer. And now he's just hopped back into the waiting room. So we'll get a word in with Titus Sherlock, 3rd sprint race victory of the season for your reigning series champion. Welcome back to the booth. You've been up here quite a lot in the last few weeks, and that was a pretty daring move to take the lead there into turn number 1.
Yeah, it's a super tough track to pass, and unfortunately I had a rough start, so I made that harder for myself. But I knew it had to be a big lunge at some point because he was being quite consistent, and obviously it's a tough track to pass with really only turn 1. So got it done though, and we were able to kind of check out towards the end as well. So I knew we were quick, just needed to get the move done at some point.
I mean, there are a couple of places to pass just opportunistically if someone were to make a mistake ahead of you. But I mean, do you feel more pressure on the other 13 turns that you don't really have an opportunity to pass to try and stay close to the driver in front of you, or just the most pressure into turn number 1 knowing you have to execute on the pass itself?
Yeah, it was really all about trying to stay close in the last sector. There's a lot of high-speed, long-duration corners that require a lot of aero, so I was trying to take different lines to try to keep air going over my car. And that lap, I used a bit of extra push to pass in the middle of the lap to get a bit closer, and had a good last 2 corners and was able to get a good enough run to make a lunge. So yeah, it was really just hard to get within half a second earlier.
Well,
Closer than that because of the air. So yeah.
The last 2 times that we've got you in here for a sprint race victory, it's gone pretty well for you in the feature, so hopefully we can follow that up once again. But in the meantime, let's get some shout-outs in before we let you go.
Yeah, as always, the whole Eclipse team, everyone's doing a really good job. Unfortunately, Michael got, I believe, he got a penalty, so he's not going to be on the pole anymore for this race. But yeah, they're all doing a great job, all of our partners. Thank you.
All right, partner, thanks for the time. Good luck in the feature.
Thank you.
We are riding on board with Titus Sherlock here. And now he's going to get himself in the correct Discord channel and slow down and throw this lap. Here is Juan de Gregorio, who will be hoping for something to go right here in this feature. He's had luck on his side the last couple of weeks. Did not start on his side tonight in the sprint race with the pit lane start, then having to... or rather having a couple of off tracks there, relegating him deep in the field. So he is going to have to start very far back in the lineup here. It'll make it very interesting for your Season 1 champion. A couple of things on the horizon here on the channel. We got a couple more broadcasts this week. First of all, the ASRL Sports Car Championship presented by Purple Haze Autosport. Wednesday night will be live from Spa-Francorchamps. That will be at as usual 8:15 p.m. Eastern Time this coming Wednesday night. Thursday, it is the championship race for season number 1 of 2025 for the Max V CNC Home Designs Truck Series from the GOAT Track Auto Club. I had no influence on them picking that as the championship race, but I applaud them greatly. And it should be a fantastic battle between Scott Patton and Dakota Floyd. A couple other drivers with a mathematical opportunity to do it, but those have been your 2 top dogs all season. They finished 1 and 2 at Auto Club, or rather at Michigan, a few weeks ago. So we'll see what they could do at Auto Club. That'll be Thursday night, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time. That's going to be an absolute slugfest. Cannot wait. And I cannot wait for a 45-minute feature here from the Hungaroring, the first official marked session on Turn 200's airwaves. It's coming to you right now. And the starting lineup will look something like this. There we go. Music plays, and we're off. And Michael Costello did pick up a penalty, so it will be your sprint race top AM. Cody Claiborne leading the field to the green flag. Matt Schlosser will line up days outside. Nate Siefker, Kevin Bonomi on row number 2. It'll be Jeff Groff, Sam McDougall on row 3, Tanner DeFavis, and Felipe Silva on row 4. Thiago Spencer and Titus Sherlock, the sprint winner. Starting in the 10th position, Jeremy Carter, Nick Goyette on row number 6, Christian Jasper, Sarah Guerra. It is Zachary Smith, Brian Labard, Zach Flam, Kyle Allen, Michael Costello, and Peter Donshak, the top 20. Green flag is out, and the dash to turn number 1 is on. And already big moves up the middle. That is Nate Siefker gunning for ground. Jeff Groff is there. It is going to be 3 wide for the top spot, 3 wide for 4th, 4 wide for 4th. Lots of bumping and banging here. Schlosser comes out with a lead momentarily. Nate Siefker is right there. Little RG, a little bargy there into the first couple of turns here. Siefker now gunning for it on the inside of the left-hander, and he will take the race lead. Side by side for 4th. That was Bonomi and Groff. Bonomi comes out ahead. Problems, it's Jean de Gregorio. Into the barriers, and that car looks to be destroyed. And he goes back to the pit lane. Sarah Guerra also with an issue. Oh, and there's a big spin. It's Jeff Groff. Groff around and into the sand trap. Siefker with the lead still. Schlosser in second, McDougall in third, DeFavis in Silva the top 5. Titus Sherlock riding behind Thiago Spencer right now. They are 7th and 8th. We'll have quite a few replays to take here in the next couple of laps as soon as things get a little bit settled down at the front of this field. That's going to be hard to do, though. Tanner DeFabis, again, right in the mix with Sam McDougall. Now for the third position as they run 1 lap complete with 38.5 minutes left to go. Siefker is going to lead the field back into turn number 1. Here is a look to the inside DeFabis, and he has got it with ease. McDougall will let Tanner DeFabis take the third position. What a wild start to this one. A cursed night for Joao Di Gregorio. And let's have a look at it. Oh! And a car slowing there, and oh my goodness. One vehicle just absolutely vaporized. I don't even know where it went. Joao had the pace there. And the car in front of him slowing dramatically as we come right back to a side-by-side battle here. This is Kevin Bonomi and Thiago Spencer. Titus Sherlock in the mix here as well, with Cody Claiborne behind him. Yeah, very sorry, Joao. I appreciate you hanging out with us here tonight. Hopefully next week will go better for you. Oh, and around goes Cody Claiborne. That's your top AM. Top AM honors right now belong to Nick Goyette after that spin. Goyette in 11th. Claiborne going to drop back in line in at least 15th. I think he's back up to speed and ahead now of Kyle Allen. We'll go back up the road here to Matt Schlosser now with Tanner DeFabis behind him. Watch the suspension work here on the Schlosser machine as Matt Schlosser riding in second currently. You can see DeFabis in that wake. Lose the nose of that car just a bit. But through the chicane, though, DeFabis able to make up some of that time. They're only half a second behind Nate Siefker. And in fact, Siefker is dropping back towards them here quite quickly. So DeFabis looking for second, but he'll be in a good position to fight for the lead here regardless of whether or not he could get past Schlosser. Problems for Kevin Bonomi. He has dropped multiple positions and continues to drop. He has big-time problems. Six-tenths of a second. We've seen the move been made for the lead from that distance. But DeFabis might have a go first on Schlosser here into turn number 1. No moves materializing yet. Sam McDougall is now in the train as well. So Kevin Bonomi riding inside the top 10 now is back into the pits, and that would be why. Contact with Felipe Silva, and that was Thiago Spencer, who lost his front wing and has damage on the front end of his car. So that is a whole host of problems. Oh, Schlosser is wide, and DeFabis is going to move into second. Schlosser back to third. DeFabis in second now is going to go straight to work here on Nate Siefker for the lead. For the back, meanwhile, Titus Sherlock now going to work on the ailing Thiago Spencer machine. I think maybe a little wrinkle on the front wing, but definitely should have been more damage there for Thiago Spencer. Either way, he will take it. As here we go for the lead. DeFabis headed down the front straightaway. Siefker got a better drive, but again, DeFabis is still right in the drop zone here in this slipstream, closing up quickly. Will he have a go into turn number 1? Down the hill. Siefker hanging on. DeFabis cleaner on exit. But as Titus Sherlock said, limited passing opportunities through the rest of the circuit. Meanwhile, around the outside. Impressive move there for Sam McDougal to take third away from Matt Schlosser. Schlosser not done. He'll have to play defense against Felipe Silva, just as Siefker is playing defense on Tanner DeFabis. Thiago Spencer still in front of Titus Sherlock as they run, but Sherlock is sizing up another move. We don't want to miss the battle for the lead, though, as DeFabis is absolutely rocking and rolling right now. McDougal kicking up a little dirt behind him, trying to get away from Schlosser and reinsert himself into this battle for the lead. DeFabis even in the wake here, rolling these corners so nice, so clean. Siefker is pushing this car to the limit. This is a primo opportunity here. Siefker down to defend. Going to make DeFabis try and take the long way or a crossover, and the crossover is inbound. Little bit of contact there. And still the battle for the lead is on into turn number 3. Siefker making that car wide. Again, DeFabis looking for the crossover. Good run here down the hill, down another long straight. DeFabis going to pull out the driver's right, but again, Siefker with the defensive move, but overcooked it just a bit. Has the positioning he wants here into the turn. DeFabis back on the power, mere millimeters away from contact there with the front wing and the rear tires. And now DeFabis may have overworked it. Will have to cool it down. He's still well within striking distance here. If he can get himself back in order, he'll be able to have another go into turn number 1. Great defensive stand from Nate Siefker there. DeFabis absolutely was laying it in. Great racing between the two as well. Maybe a touch of contact there into turn number 2. But considering all the movement that those two were making, I think a little bit of contact was maybe expected. McDougal now inside of a second. He'll be able to get a little bit of a slipstream, as here's a wider line for DeFabis out of the final turn. Maybe cost him just a skosh of time, but he's making it right back up on the power down the straightaway. Here is Titus Sherlock now to the inside of Matt Schlosser, and Sherlock is up to 4th, and that is not what this top 3 wants to see. He was able to get through on Thiago Spencer a couple of laps ago, and now is inside the top 5 and up to 4th. In fact, well, Michael Costello clocked the purple lap of the race and now has just towed back to the pits. Top end currently, I believe, still Nick Goyette in the 11th position. There's a lot of curbing there for Nate Siefker. Four-tenths of a second into the final turn. Will this be the pass for the lead? Titus Sherlock is closing quickly. All 3 of the drivers know that they need to go. Purple lap for Sherlock in P4. And there he is, inside of half a second now, up to Sam McDougal. McDougal himself only 2.5 seconds removed from the lead. Pit road should be open 10 laps in. Again, a mandatory tire pit stop is required. And these cars cannot take fuel. You're required to take a set of tires. No alternate tire, no wet tire, but just a new tire. DeFavis again going to be pushing the issue here. Half a second up to Siefker. With Sherlock now going to work on Sam McDougal. DeFavis 3/10. This is as good of an opportunity as he is going to have. Siefker again on defense, down to the inside. Trying to cover the crossover. Lays up a bit there through the middle of the turn. But DeFavis still has good drive out. As Sherlock is up to third, he's got a good view of what is in front of him here. Siefker and DeFavis tripping each other up for the lead. Only 1.3 seconds behind. Siefker wider line there. DeFavis, no opportunity to get through. These two just hemorrhaging time back to Titus Sherlock. DeFavis to the inside, wheel to wheel. And another crossover and more contact. Sherlock is here. Patience persisting, but the work is not done yet. Sherlock with two drivers who have gotten their elbows out here at the front of this field. Will Sherlock have a go here on DeFavis? Just a car length between the two. Whoa, big block there for DeFavis. Sherlock gonna have to take the long way around. Side by side, that is Sherlock around the long way. Again, gonna look for the crossover. But that is a lot harder of a place to pull it off. Still, Sherlock in lockstep with his teammate DeFavis. What a thrilling race at the front of this field. Now DeFavis moving back forward here. Here is what Titus Sherlock sees right now through turn 14. DeFavis is there. 3/10 of a second. Just car length and a half between the top two. Sherlock close behind. And again, Siefker there. Oh, and DeFavis is way long. And Sherlock is through. Sherlock straight to offense here. DeFavis slots in third, just a couple car lengths back. Titus says it's impossible to pass anywhere but turn number one. I'm sure he would love to get it done here. Sam McDougal, Thiago Spencer going to have a go for fourth. We'll pop back there in a moment if we can. Nick Goyette's still leading the 4D Raceware AM division right now. Siefker, a little bit wide there. Sherlock is here to capitalize. Oh, Sherlock. Right onto the power. Siefker is giving it everything he's got. Here's Sherlock. He will get the inside here on Siefker into turn number one. Siefker going to try and send it a little long, looking for any kind of arc advantage here. Drive off. Sticking it close to the side pod, but it is Titus Sherlock through to the lead. Siefker fighting back, though. Trying to make this corner wide. Still wheel to wheel. Siefker not giving in. DeFabus is here as well. Maybe a touch of netcode contact there. 3 wide. Siefker is off. Keeps it out of the barriers, but he slips back to 5th. Tanner DeFabus is now the leader. Sherlock back to 2nd. Here's McDougal and Spencer now onto the scene. Unbelievable stuff. Three-quarters of a second now for DeFabus. Back to Sherlock. We'll quickly take a look at that from the chopper cam, as it already was in motion there. I mean, Siefker, for him to be able to fight back here, I don't know if they made contact there. This runoff is so choppy, and definitely contact there, but I mean, it's jarring. It's almost like there's a gully between the runoff and the rumble strips there, and like a little patch of sand. As now we'll look back to Sam McDougal and Thiago Spencer. That is Spencer taking the 3rd position away. Nate Siefker is down pit road. He'll look to try and recover with the undercut here. I guess that's really the only choice that he has. I can't imagine he'll have much damage to fix. Man, great battles everywhere. Byron Daly through on Felipe Silva. Daly up to 5th. And we go back to the lead. Titus Sherlock again, trying to close in. Oh, and on pit out, Nate Siefker has crashed. Oh, man. That is the end to a very promising race. What a show Siefker put on for us this evening. That was incredible stuff. So the majority of this field is yet to make their pit stops. Dakota DeMade has made his. Jeff Groff, I believe, has made his pit stop. Jeremy Carter is down this time. But certainly none of your front runners have made their stops. And it is yet another wrinkle. Last time around, purple lap for Tanner DeFabus at the front of the field. He's doing his darndest to try and pull away from Titus Sherlock. Decent amount of lateral loading here. I'm surprised that we have not seen more drivers down pit road as of yet. Christian Jasper is coming this time. And it looks like he will be one of, if not the only one, on this lap to come in for scheduled service. We'll jump back just a bit to Byron Daly. Trying to close in on Sam McDougal, but has Felipe Silva closing back in on him after they just got done battling. Kyle Allen is also down this time. He's not too terribly far behind Nick Goyette on track. That may be a battle when it's all said and done for the top AM victory. Waiting to see if any of our leaders are coming this time. I mean, still some pretty good lap times here. Times have not fallen off. Sherlock went into the pit lane area there, but he's not actually going to come down. And he is closed back into half a second. Not out of the question that he could have a go here into turn number 1. Closes it up to a couple of car lengths once again. As Sherlock ran the purple lap of the race, Tanner DeFabis ran his personal best on that lap, as did Tiago Spencer and Sam McDougall. So these tires are getting better and better as the fuel load gets lighter. So these drivers may, at the front of the field, wait as long as they possibly can. They have to be down pit road with 2 laps to go. You also have to think about, on the other end of it, trying to get these tires up to an optimal operating temperature in the final few laps. Give yourself as much time to get the good out of the tires that you can, and have to deal with the bad of getting them up to temperature for as little time as possible. I'll tell you this much, not many people have survived a tie to Sherlock onslaught for this long as Tanner DeFabis has. This has been fantastic stuff from the Hungaroring tonight, and we're not done yet. Inside of 17 minutes to go. Sherlock is eating up the rear wing of the Dyna DeFabis. This will be the time into turn number 1. DeFabis able to maintain this gap. As Sherlock again, purple lap of the race last time by. Felipe Silva is in from the top 5. That might start the domino effect up the field just a bit. We'll have to see. No takers this time. Tiago Spencer 3 seconds behind in third. Ran a personal best last time around. And here we go again. Down the hill into turn number 1. Half a second still between DeFabis and Sherlock. Closes up a bit. As it was now Tanner DeFabis who clocks the purple lap. Last time around, first driver to go sub 125. That's a 124.76. A monster lap for DeFabis at the helm. But still Sherlock is lying in wait. We go roll hoop here with Sherlock in P2. No other battles really for position on track, save for Brian Labarge in 9th. And Zach Flaum in 8th. So here we go. Sherlock within half a second. Byron Daly is going to pit from 5th. And again, DeFabis has got it figured out into turn number 1. Still maintaining a half a second advantage. Not much, but it's enough. Jeff Mathis last week said You only need to win it by at least 1/1000th of a second. Technically, you need to win it by 1/10,000th of a second, but I get the point. Half a second is plenty in the grand scheme of things. It certainly is not going to be very comfortable if he's at half a second for the next 13 minutes. See a little dirt, dust, debris kicked up there onto the track through the chicane. Not a surprise. I'm surprised that we haven't seen any more. Track surface at Imola last week was littered in the runoff zones with gravel. It was about as dirty of a track surface as I've seen. DeFabis and Sherlock bypassing pit road once again. Oh, DeFabis is wide, I think, looking for good drive out of the turn, but did not get it. Sherlock is going to have a go, and DeFabis knows it. Straight to the right side of the track. Full defense here. Sherlock swings out, has the lead with the front wing around the long way, and it might be able to stick here. One mistake for DeFabis. That was all it took, and Titus Sherlock is through to the lead as he parks it in the middle of the turn to solidify the position. Titus Sherlock is on point. Patience, persistence, perseverance. Titus Sherlock on point, the fourth P. Now this is just damage control for Tanner DeFabis, who caught the sausage curve there through the chicane. He is sliding the rear end of this car around. You may think about a pit stop here if you're Tanner DeFabis, or maybe just to do the opposite of whatever Titus does. Oh, DeFabis now in the wake for the first time in many, many laps. Starting to feel the effects. Remember how long he rode behind Nate Siefker for. DeFabis not going for it. Sherlock ran his first sub-125 lap last time around. He goes even quicker this time, 124.83. Not quite the purple lap, but a damn good one to say the least. And now he's got 1 second back to Tanner DeFabis. Thiago Spencer just ran a personal best lap. He is in third, 4 seconds behind Titus Sherlock. And top end currently still Nick Goyette. He is sixth in the running order, but again, all the way back to, I believe, Christian Jasper make it Byron Daly rather in eighth. Have yet to make their pit stop. Actually, to Zach Flam in seventh. Daly, the first one of the drivers that have made their pit stop, in the eighth position currently. Speaking of Felipe Silva, Christian Jasper, here is Silva with a dive into turn number one. Boy, it has fallen under shade very, very quickly, as that was a tank swap there for Jasper, able to hang on to the car, but he will slip back to the 10th position as Silva is on his way back up to Byron Daly. Unfortunately, he's 10 seconds behind him right now, so Daly with a big advantage on Felipe Silva through the pit cycle. No pits again from Sherlock or DeFabis. Thiago Spencer, Sam McDougall, Matt Schlosser maybe going to stay out here as well. But McDougall has. Schlosser will stay out as well. Next up will be your current top AM, Nick Goyette. Tanner DeFabis, to his credit, clocked the purple lap last time around. But he has continued to lose time here on this lap, dropped down to 1.2 seconds as they run. So it may very well be a purple lap for Titus Sherlock, assuming he does not come into the pits this time. He does have some lap traffic ahead. I believe that is Kyle Allen. And Allen will yield Oh, and he is right in Tanner DeFavis' path on corner exit. Does not seem to cost DeFavis any time. Sherlock, no. DeFavis, no. This could be a great lap here for Titus Sherlock across the stripe. 124.76. That is the exact same lap he ran last time around. About a thousandth of a second off of his personal best of the race. DeFavis with a 125 flat. Respectable, but he lost about 3/10 to the race leader on that lap. Well, this field is now all nice and spread out. Nick Goyette is down pit road, so we'll see how the battle for top AM shakes out. Goyette will be dropping down to Kyle Allen, who looks to be the last AM running currently. As Cody Claiborne, Sarah Guerra, and Zachary Smith all out of this race. Will have big points championship implications, with Joao de Gregorio going out on the opening circuit of the feature after an early sprint race exit as well. It was not de Gregorio's night, to say the very least. Goyette is out, and he is well clear of Kyle Allen. So Goyette's destiny lies firmly within his own grasp, as here comes Tanner DeFavis, 1.5 seconds behind the race leader. He's looking to trigger the undercut here. DeFavis is away. We'll see if this can get him back into the fight. Zach Flaum also coming down pit road. Right on board with DeFavis here as he tries to nurse these tires up to temperature. Quite the balance you have to strike between nursing the tires, getting them up gently, and also getting as much as you possibly can here. DeFavis has got a nice pocket to operate in here. He has got 5 seconds back to Matt Schlosser behind him, almost 9 seconds up to Sam McDougall in front of him, so he is free to push hard as soon as he feels comfortable to do so. 5:45 on the clock. Time is winding down. Still need pit stops for 4 of the top 5 in the final 5.5. Titus Sherlock is in. Thiago Spencer is going to stay out for another lap. But where will Tanner DeFavis come out in relativity to Titus Sherlock with a 1-lap undercut? You can see DeFavis still struggling on these cold tires. Sherlock is on the move. He should have it. It was a 1.5 second advantage for Sherlock on the way in. And now back to DeFavis. It's going to be about maybe 3.5 seconds. As though DeFavis is around trying to get everything that he can, and that is going to cost him the long shot back to victory here. Matt Schlosser here in third is yet to make his stop. It's just him and your race leader, Thiago Spencer, that are left to go. So DeFavis is still in second. But will he be? Should say he's still provisionally in second. Because I think Thiago Spencer was not too terribly far behind it, within about 4 or 5 seconds of Tanner DeFavis, which is what he will have just given up with that spin. We'll go back to Byron Daly here This could very well be for a podium position. Maybe. We'll have to see. Matt Schlosser is down pit road, but McDougal and Daly are going at it here. Currently it's for 5th. They'll pick up a spot here with Schlosser getting his service. And they're going to scrap hard here. McDougal on the inside, and there he goes! That car is junked. Daly is going to soldier on. Oy vey. Here we go. I mean, Daly's got the run. McDougal knows it. Moving over there and just a bit too far. Yeah. Thiago Spencer is in. Pit stop time's about 35 seconds. He's got about 31 back to DeFabis, so I think Tanner DeFabis should cycle out to be in second. As the jack comes up, it's a tire change for Thiago Spencer. Titus Sherlock back to the lead with 2 laps to go. And again, I think he's got Tanner DeFabis. I think DeFabis is back to 3rd. So, top AM honors right now still belong with Nick Goyette in the 11th position. He'll look to make it 2 in a row, and another lap's done. Byron Daly there after the contact is nowhere near Tanner DeFabis. So the podium is DeFabis' to lose. He'll, I would imagine, will be disappointed with a 3rd, but we'll talk to him here in a moment and find out if he can hang on for another lap. Thiago Spencer in second, 7 seconds behind Titus Sherlock, who is coming to the white flag here at the Hungaroring. What a Turn 200 debut it's been for this circuit. It is not one that we will soon forget. This has been one of the best GoSquadra Formula Super Series races I've had the honor of calling here on the channel. Titus Sherlock had his work cut out for him with the sprint invert. Took him quite a bit of time, but he got himself onto the front of the field and is not looking back. Some lap traffic to contend with. I believe it'll be Kyle Allen. Clocks have struck 0. We're coming to the checkers. What a race. It'll be another sweep. The 3rd of the season for Titus Sherlock. He takes the sprint, and he will take the feature at the Hungaroring. Checkers are out. Titus Sherlock wins the flash photos. Grand Prix of Hungary for the GoSquadra Formula Super Series. Thiago Spencer, runner-up. Tanner DeFabis out of the final turn will take 3rd after a spirited battle for the lead all race long. They'll settle for the bronze. Nick Goyette right now riding in the 11th position. Going to give Zach Flaum a go here for the 10th spot. But Goyette is very much in control of the 40 Raceware Top Am honors. As he comes out in the final turn, Goyette will make it 2 in a row. Nicely done for him. Only other Am to finish is Kyle Allen, and he is 38 seconds behind. But what a race for this young gentleman here, Titus Sherlock. Legendary battling at the front of this field between him, DeFabus, and Nate Siefker. Sherlock with the most wins in the GoSquadra Formula Super Series. He adds to his advantage. That is his 7th career feature. He's got 6 sprint victories as well. That is his 3rd sweep of the season. He has not gotten one without the other here in season number 3. And he is on the comeback trail. We'll park it at the line. Tanner DeFabus will follow in suit. Tiago Spencer already off the track. What a race between those two. Really, really awesome stuff here tonight. Little burnout there for DeFabus, and he will call it good. And Sherlock parking the car. I think that is going to be it for him. So, let these drivers gather themselves a little bit, and we will give you the full finishing rundown. After a wild feature here tonight at the Hungaroring, congratulations to Titus Sherlock on another victory. And it's his 3rd of the season, 7th feature victory of the career, and his 3rd sweep of the season as well. We'll talk to him. We'll hopefully talk to Tiago Spencer and Tanner DeFabus here momentarily as well. Byron Daly in 4th. It's Felipe Silva in 5th. Christian Jasper in the 6th position. Jeremy Carter in 7th. It is 8th for Matt Schlosser, Jeff Groff, and Zach Flaum. The rest of the top 10. Nick Goyette in the 11th position. It's 12th for Brian Labarge. Kyle Allen in 13th. Sam McDougall and Peter Donchak, your top 15. Nate Siefker in 16th. Dakota DeMade will finish in 17th. DNFs from Donchak on down, by the way. Actually, from McDougall on down. So McDougall 14th, Donchak 15th, Siefker in 16th, Dakota DeMade 17th, Cody Claiborne in 18th, Michael Costello in 19th, Kevin Bonomi in 20th, 21st for Sarah Gator, 22nd for Zachary Smith, and what a disastrous night it was for Schwade Gregorio. 23rd on the feature finishing results. Going to be a very disappointing night. And, he'll have a lot of work to do headed into next week at Jerez. So we will go in search now of some of the key players from the evening. Seems like I figured out how to turn this music down. There we go. Why don't we start here with your 40 Raceware Top Am of the evening for the 2nd week in a row. It's Nick Goyette. Welcome back to the booth, partner, and congrats on a solid run here tonight.
Thanks, Tommy. How's it going?
It is going very good. That was a lot of fun here tonight. I would imagine probably an exacting race here this evening. That it looked tough to say the least, especially considering you're only one of 2 AMs to actually finish the race this evening.
Yeah, the off tracks are pretty brutal. That's a start. But I mean, I felt like the league's been pretty clean this week and last week, as far as like contact with drivers.
I mean, talk about the difficulties there. You were trying to go to work there on Zach Flaum for the final couple of laps. It looked like, I mean, the difficulties of actually trying to make passes here and to your point, to do it cleanly as well. Yeah,
I mean, it definitely benefited to stay out. And last week he went in early, so this week I went in early. It benefited him, I think.
Well, good stuff from you here once again this evening. Thanks for the time. Congratulations, and let's get some shout-outs in before we let you go.
Well, Zach got mad last week because I didn't shout him out. So, Zach, Miyamo Sports, and then my wife and baby are here again on the couch, always cheering. They're here for the milk, I think.
I was going to say, whether they're there for you or for the milk, they got a lot to cheer about here tonight. So, congrats.
I think so.
And we'll hope to talk to you again and make it 3 in a row next week.
Yep, catch you later.
All right, we'll go up the finishing order and talk to your third place finisher who's got to be worn out after that one. Tanner DeFabis was giving it everything here this evening. We'll walk away with the third. Welcome back to the booth. Congratulations on a hard-fought podium, to say the least. I mean, you were working that one all night.
Yeah, it was a really, really tough race. Very physical, really hard to pass. But yeah, the podium's good position to walk with. And yeah, could have got P2. Really just made a stupid mistake on after the pit stop and spinning, but it is what it is. So yeah.
Well, you know, you're about a second and a half behind, it looked like, on your way in to make your pit stop. You know that maybe the undercut is not the way to go. I'd imagine you were just looking for anything at that point to try and get one up on Titus there. I mean, this seems like a pretty difficult track already to sort of hit your marks on, let alone having to try and nurse cold tires. It's quite the tricky place to be in.
Yeah, it's really tricky. For a while there, me and him were just kind of trading lap times, and yeah, we were just really quick, and yeah, nothing much else to add there. But yeah, I just tried to pitted before him because just tried to see if his cold tires would be a lot worse after he pitted, so I could undercut him. But yeah, didn't really work out, and then spun. So yeah, it wasn't ideal.
I mean, it's been a very, very good season for you here. We've got 3 rounds to go. You made up good points tonight. Big problems for Joao de Gregorio. I mean, what's the final 3 weeks of the season look like for you here?
Just gonna be pushing really hard and just gonna be trying to get as many wins as I possibly can, and just extract everything from the last 3 races. So yeah.
Well, this was awesome stuff from you here tonight. We'll let you get to resting up here after all that great battling, but we'll let you get some shout-outs in before we let you go.
Yeah, shout out to Titus for winning. He drove really good. So yeah, shout out to him for getting the win. Shout out to Eclipse. Shout out to all our sponsors, Mosaic, ProCard, Destination Athlete, Cichlids. And yeah, shout out to you guys for putting on an amazing broadcast. So yeah, thanks.
Thanks for the time. We'll hope to talk to you again next week in Harath.
Yep, see ya.
We'll go up now to your silver medaler here tonight. Tiago Spencer is back in booth 200. Welcome back. Congrats on the runner-up here this evening. What a tough race, to say the least.
Yeah, good evening, Tommy. Yeah, it was a tough race. Both races were really tough. First one, I left the door open there, and Titus just dive, and was a good pass. Second race, I got like lap 5th. I had like 14x. So last one was a hit with Titus, so I got wheel damage, and yeah, from that on, I was just cruising and hoping for not getting another off track and being penalized. So yeah, I tried to push because I saw that Tanner and Titus pitted before me, and I tried to push using almost all my push, and but when I came out of the pit, I saw the Tanner that was a lot of far behind, and yeah, I thought that something happened, and I just figured out that he spun. So yeah, in the end, 2 second positions, good races, and yeah, looking forward to the next one.
I mean, you talk about a difficult job to have to not pick up off tracks. First of all, at the Formula One tracks, anybody that races on the Formula One tracks knows how mean, I guess, the off track limits are. But especially here, I mean, all the corners are so weird. That just had to be really, really difficult. How did you manage to actually keep up great pace like you had, and also not run off the track?
I mean, when we are pushing, we try to extract everything from the car, from the tires. So we are always looking for that gap that exists there, right? So, but when I can't afford one more off track, so I'm just gonna cruise, and I stopped pushing, and I was just in the line. My tires was really good in the end because I didn't push before, so I only had to stop because it's mandatory we have a mandatory pit stop. So yeah, by the time I realized that I could do nothing, I had some overtakes that I did, but I tried to do as clean as possible. If I can't do it on the straight, I'm not gonna try to be alongside someone in the beginning of the corner, because I know that I can, we can touch and I can be penalized. So yeah, in the end, it was good. I stopped being like nervous and just calm on the rest of the race and trying to enjoy as much as possible.
Well, it was a difficult week for you last week at Imola, and a good night for Joie. And the flip side of that here tonight, you will have made up a lot of points on him headed into Jerez next week. But I mean, how do you fancy your chances at the championship here with 3 rounds left to go?
Yeah, I mean, last track at Imola, I was really upset, not with Titus, but with that netcode thing, because I know it wasn't on purpose. But losing, I was in first position, I lost everything. I need to start from the back, and I was coming, overtaking all those guys, and one of them I had a touch again, and I broke my wing. I thought about okay, I need to pit only after lap 10, but I got confused and I pit stop. I had a early pit stop and I need to pit again, and it was a very frustrating weekend. Monday, but yeah, now I got really. I'm glad that everything went well at some point, but I got some points, and yeah, I'm really happy now.
Well, we're looking forward to the final stretch of the season here. Congrats on a really strong night here tonight, and let's get some shout-outs in before I let you go.
Yeah, as always, to my wife, because without her, I won't be able to be here, and also to my brother. This week we didn't practice a lot together, but we are always, pushing each other. So shout out to him too.
Well, thanks for the time here tonight. Good stuff, and keep it up. We'll hope to talk to you again next week.
Yeah, see you, man.
Well, for the 3rd time this season, it is a Titus Sherlock sweep, this time at the Hungaroring, and in spectacular fashion as well. We talked about one thrilling pass that you made on Thiago Spencer there, but how about 3 wide in some of the tightest sections of this course, battling for the lead here. What a race it was, and you came out ahead of it. Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, what a race it was. The first couple laps, just trying to stay clean and trying to make up as much ground as I could. Luckily Nate and Tanner battling they didn't get too far ahead, so I still had a chance of winning the race. And it was a crazy battle with both of them. And they were able to get ahead at the end. I definitely feel like we were the fastest. So glad to capitalize on that this weekend and not have any bad luck.
Once Tanner was able to get out ahead and put Seifker behind you guys, you two were just trading the purple lap back and forth, basically, up until it looked like maybe he made one small mistake there into turn number 1. But, how do you just kind of lie in wait for as long as you do, very patiently, and just wait for that opportunity? Because, you were pretty close a couple of times and didn't make the move. When do you know when to go?
Yeah, it's all about making your kind of own opportunity here. You just have to stay close in the last 3 corners, which is really difficult to do. And it's also about the push to pass. If the guy in front of you is using it at the same time as you, there's essentially no chance. So you kind of have to fake them into using it a lap and then using it the next lap when they don't have it available to them anymore. So you really have to play the push to pass games here. And as well, I was on 15 out of 16x allowed at the end of the race.
Oh, boy.
And so was Tanner as well. So we were both just kind of tiptoeing around trying to make it to the end. So had a couple of Ghost 4Xs, and it's quite easy to get a 1X off track here. So yeah, quite close, but it was a good race, and was able to play the push to pass game well. Got through the pit stop, and had a pretty comfortable gap anyway. But then Tanner also spun on his cold tires, so that made it pretty easy for me the last few laps.
Well, you have had to be on the comeback trail all season long after a really rough start to the season. But you're really coming alive here in the back half of the schedule. 3 rounds to go. Made up a lot of points here this evening. How do you feel about your chances in the final 3 races here?
Yeah, we got the momentum right now. We've won the last 4 races in a row, so it's just trying to chip away at it. Yeah, we had every time we're not finishing, or every time I'm not winning, it feels like I'm DNFing. So there's still like a decent gap in the points. But yeah, just trying to make it all up. And I don't remember off the top of my head what the last three tracks are, but we've been fast at every race. So hopefully we can just kind of keep on this roll.
I believe it's Jerez, Interlagos, and Suzuka, which will be the other 60-minute race rather than the sprint and the feature. So that'll be an interesting final 3 races to close out the season. And you're definitely right. You've got the hot hand on the floor heading into Jerez next week. So congrats on the sweep once again here this evening, and let's get some shout-outs in again before we let you go.
Yeah, as always, the whole Eclipse team. We've all been working really hard at this, and of course Tanner had a good race as well, finishing unfortunately 3rd. Would have been 2nd without that little mistake he made, but he was quite quick. And Zachary, our AM, had a good pace as well, but wasn't able to make too much of it this round because he had some bad luck. But and then also Mosaic, Destination Athlete, ProGuard, everyone that supports us, thank you. And of course all the admins and broadcast team as well.
Well, thanks for the time once again. Go celebrate 2 sweeps in a row, and we'll hope to talk to you again next week.
Thank you.
So that is Titus Sherlock, race winner. And again, he says 4 in a row, and it's 2 sprints and 2 features. That is a sweep and a sweep, and the Hungaroring is in the books, and that was a smashing success. I know we're dialing back our broadcasting big time here, but I would not be shocked at all to see this wind up on a Daredevil Series schedule at some point, because it put on quite the show here this evening. That is all we got for you here tonight. Of course, we want to thank everybody that was hanging out with us. Not very many people here tonight. Fortunately, Joao de Gregorio had to hang out with us after a couple of early exits. Appreciate him stopping by, and Jeff Mathis, and anybody else that might have been out there as well. Greatly appreciate you coming and hanging out with us here tonight on Turn 200. Thank you, as always, to the folks that help pay the bills around here. Thanks to Flash Photos and Hunter Engram for coming on board to sponsor the Hungarian Grand Prix here this evening. Shout out to, of course, 4D Racewear, and of course GoSquadra.com as well. You can catch us with a few broadcasts in the coming week. It will be the ASRL Sports Car Championship presented by Purple Haze Auto Sport, Wednesday night, 8:15 p.m. Eastern Time, and they will be live from Spa-Francorchamps. Thursday night, it is the championship race for the Maxi CNC Home Designs Truck Series from Auto Club Speedway, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time for that one. And you can catch us again next Monday night for the GoSquadra Formula Super Series live from the Moto layout of Jerez. That is one of the best tracks on the service. Hardly ever gets used. Excited to get after it. 8:45 p.m. Eastern Time next Monday night. That is all we got for you here tonight. Thanks to the entire admin team. We'll have a little bit of work to do after this one here this evening. And thank you to all the drivers as well. That's all we got for you here on Turn 200. Till we meet again, I'm Tommy Cook saying so long and congratulations to Titus Sherlock. Sweep of the evening here at the Hungaroring. Have a good night, everybody. This has been a live broadcast on Turn 200. Be sure to hit subscribe and hit the bell to get notified of when we go live next. Thank you very much for joining us, and we'll see you again soon.